Hey, dope people, it's Adam. Hope you're having a great day. It's Saturday. I was going to go out and to the demonstration today, but my body's like, no bueno. It is very cold. You were up late. I won't go into details. You're up late in the middle of the night and you're not feeling well. And your the is not pretty getting old. So yeah, staying where it's warm and dry. I still got solidarity with all my friends. Anthony there, the dark green independent. He's out there speaking and stuff like that. I wanted to go meet him and stuff. I just can't get out of the house right now. It's just too tough. It is. I got some health issues, guys. It just is what it is. And I won't go into detail, but there's some health issues keep me more homebound than I would like, which sucks. But okay, I got a microphone and a really good phone with a good camera, and I can just do this from my couch. I could do this from my couch with my coffee, with my Yoda coffee. Just my Yoda coffee. I will be getting out of the house a little bit today. We do have to go to Costco for our weekend re-up. We're really digging Costco again. I love Costco, and I'll tell you why I love Costco is because they seem to be one of the very few decent companies out there that, despite the rise in prices, isn't out there just to rip people off. My wife and I have bought a lot of great stuff from Costco and saved a lot of money shopping at Costco, despite having a membership and stuff like that. It actually really balances out if you use it well enough. It balances out quite fine throughout the year. So yeah, there's that. So we bought a bunch of stuff at a discount, Christmas presents, all kinds of stuff. And the reason why we shop there, not because we save money, is because myself, I guide our purchases ethically as best I can, but also through our pocketbook. Like for example, we have to shop at Superstore. I hate shopping at Superstore because I hate giving Galen Weston money, but I shop there because they got good price. The prices are lower. And you find out why, because there's some price fixing going on. Probably we found that out in the not the Epstein files. There's something else. There's something else that came out recently about the pop, and I'm sure this is going on with other stuff too, where like the lowest price and all that with the Walmart and like you always wonder. I always wonder how a Walmart and a Superstore could be right across the street from each other and compete. Well, now I know because there's like just sweetheart deals with both, so they're not stepping on each other's dicks. That's basically how it is. Is price fixing. There's a lot of corruption and stuff in Canadian business, and we're not dealing with it. There's ways to deal with it. We have rules against it. So when it does happen, we can deal with it, but we're not. We just don't. They're not focused on doing that. Unfortunately for Carney, I'm sure there's so many battles he has to fight right now, but he's not going to fight the one that he doesn't think is a battle. If he does believe in a free market, then he's fine with what's going on to us with the grocery stores and that. That's why he hasn't done anything because he thinks it's gravity. He thinks it's just it is what it is. It's just gravity. It wasn't. It's blah, 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 like. Um, they act like these prices rising was just inevitable and going to happen. No, there could have been ways to get around, to stop it, to slow it. Um, we could nationalize industries. There's lots of options. So to say there's no options in reducing prices is wrong headed. Especially in Canada, we're not a big we're a large country. We're not a big country. um 35 million folks, 40 million, let's call it I don't know, 35 to 40 million. We're not that big considering our neighbors are like 350. Right, so you put that in perspective, that is quite a big difference. However, we got a lot of stuff. We got a lot of stuff. So but we got means that we're as a country more easily exploited, and especially in Alberta, like they've kept Alberta on the outs with the rest of the country in order to exploit it. So Danielle Smith is there solely so the oil companies and other big industry like private corporations can exploit Alberta without giving us back our fair share, which what we used to, Klein bucks and all that shit, right? That was just us getting that was just Alberta getting back their fair share. So it wasn't, again, Kleinbucks wasn't super effective, but it was something, right? That we got something back for the extraction of resources in the province, and now that's gone. It's all gone. now is going to private equity and private businesses, and that anyone who can afford to invest gets the profits from it, right? The rest of us who can't afford to invest just have to work day after day. We don't get any profits from it or shit like that. So it's a bit sad that way. But we're hopefully today with the demonstration, we start stepping in the right direction. I don't think like demonstrations personally. I was going to go just to try to get out of the house and try to get out there, but again, then my health issues are my health issues, and I saw the doctor yesterday, and just it's not going well. Like I'm not in any like dire straits, just like I can't be out on my feet for more than 10 minutes. Like it's just like then it's just some massive pain. My legs start giving out, and it's kind of a weight issue a little bit, um, but not really. I've had surgeries on both knees, and so there's some like shit going on that was already built in. So, uh, yeah, that's yeah. Anyways, don't need to get into that, but like I've had surgeries that cause some pain and stuff like that, and some issues with my muscles and my legs. And so I try to get up and try to walk the dog, but I fall often. You know what I mean? Like it sucks. It really sucks. So yeah, but like I want to get out there, demonstrate, because again, this province is man, it's such a good province. I love this province. Um, like I really like the separatists. You can tell they're most of them are just doing it to be contrarian, and to own the libs. Like there's still this like we stopped talking about, but they're still trying to own the libs. But they're just embarrassing themselves, embarrassing the rest of the province, because the rest of the country thinks this province is fucking nuts. Like you have no idea. I talk to other people in other parts of the country. It's an amazing thing what you could do on Facebook. And they think it's crazy what's happening in this province. They really do. It's nuts. How much the people are being sold out. So hope people get out there today. I hope you remember that Canada is one of the best countries. You are so oh, man, I'm so grateful that I was born in Canada. Hey, I've had some traumas. I've had some issues. There's personal relationships that I have that aren't great. That's not my country's fault. Um, the country itself is actually pretty fucking good because I have found a lot of goodness out there. I was talking yesterday about disappointment and stuff like that. This was a really big topic on my mind about being disappointed all the time, and I just had to force myself to remember the times I wasn't disappointed, and my God, was there a lot of them. There was a lot of them, and a lot of the times not being disappointed was just like being here in this country. I have seen some shit, guys, that you would not believe, and exists in this country. So it's amazing. It's amazing what you can find if you go looking. I wish I can go out looking a bit more. Maybe once I get some of this leg issue figured out, I can get out there a bit more and go looking for fun and looking for adventure. Maybe we'll go tour the new art gallery coming up. That's almost done. So it's it's going to be a full time job keeping it dope. It'll take a lot of dope. um, and yeah, like I just want to talk to you guys about hopefully what's going on. Hopefully make a comment. I will try to respond to comments as best I can, as long as they're relatively positive. Not positive. You don't have to be positive. If you don't agree with something I'm saying, by all means, say I don't agree. Here's X, Y, Z, Y. I will engage. I will debate. I love debate, real debate. If you like, I know what an ad hominem attack is. So be warned. If you attack me personally, I'm ending it. I'm ending it. We can go over the issues one by one all day long. I'll go all day. But I'm not gonna just if I disagree, I'm gonna say no, I disagree, and here's X, Y, Z, Y. I'm not gonna attack you as a bad person unless you're advocating for evil things. And I go, why are you advocating for that? That seems to go against human decency. And then if you'll say something like, well, sometimes you got to do hard things to get what you need, that's evil. I don't trust you anymore, and you are now a bad person. If you have to justify evil acts in order to fulfill your needs, end of story, end of discussion. That is some bullshit that I will not entertain. But any other issue, education, healthcare, you name it, religion, all of it, I will talk about it. I will talk about it all day long. But again, it has to be constructive, and it has to be uh, you have to give me something I can use, and maybe even go look up like on my own. um Like, I'm not going to sit there, I need to do more research. I'm going to have my own thoughts. I've done my own research on a lot of stuff. I being on the spectrum and having an education in broadcast and media, yo, we get taught how to write commercials, how to advertise, and how to manipulate emotions. That's what you like. Yeah, that is what they teach you at broadcasting school, how to manipulate emotions. They don't say that outright. Me, the autistic genius, I'm like, is this like manipulating people's emotions? No, it's not like that. It's like, yeah, the Wizard of Ads, the book. It's just how you manipulate people, like how you convince people to buy your shit, and how to capture people for 30 seconds, and you do it emotionally. Uh, Sometimes it's done like you can use the method and still fuck up. I'm looking at you, Spencer Diamonds. You've gotten better, actually. I think the feedback has finally sunk through, and you got some new writers for Spence Diamonds. Because fuck, it was bad for a while. It's gotten a little bit better, but these narrative commercials are just cringy as fuck. Um, and like, if you put a cringy shit on a millennial station, you're not gonna make as much money. You won't. You won't. I will never set foot in your stores because your commercials are so fucking bad. If I ever roll into money, my wifey likes shiny things, and I'm gonna make sure wifey gets some shiny things once in a while. I'm gonna go somewhere else. Your commercials are too fucking bad. So that's, be warned. Like, um, I may be a fucking stoner, but I'm a bit of a fighter, a bit of a resistor. Not a bit of a resistor. I am a resistor. Like, I'm not a contrarian. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Do not confuse resistors with contrarians. So a contrarian will just find the opposite of your argument just to find the opposite, like just to not agree with you. Because again, agreeing with someone is a sign of weakness to some people. Like, being like too agreeable is a sign of weakness. You have to like always, like, you have to like, you know find the contrarian stance. I'm a resistor. I get confused with contrarians quite often because I'll ask questions that challenge what's going on, but never to contradict. Never to contradict. Always to seek elaboration and clarity. So I don't just accept things, and a contrarian will accept a bunch of shit. Eventually will accept the bullshit that they're spewing, because they won't agree with the majority because they think it makes them look weak. Um, you look weak because you're weak. That's it. Like, you got to find your own strength, and if you're trying to project like a type of strength that puts people down and stuff, that's just more weakness. That's all that is. Sorry. So yeah, like, I'm a resistor, not a contrarian. Ever a contrarian. I don't just take the opposite part. Just to agree. Like, a lot of like, for example, Trump supporters, except for the 30%, that 30% in the US, those are too far gone. Those are the fascists. That is the fascist core of the US. That 30%, I think that's a solid number for the US for that fascist core. The other chunk of Republicans and independents that support Trump, I totally get their grievances and why they didn't support Kamala Harris, right? Even though they don't like Trump, they wanted economic issues solved, and Trump promised economic issues solved. Obviously, everyone on the left was like, no, he's lying. 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 We said it over and over. It didn't matter. It did not matter, because unfortunately, the other side was, look, just as untrustworthy, just as phony, just as like not being honest about stuff, not going where they're needed, not politicians, as much as you hate them, have to say the right thing. Have to. They have to say the right thing, or else they're fucked. Sometimes they think they're saying the right thing, and they might be saying the right thing to the right people that will maybe donate, but maybe the other people who will actually vote for them, who don't have the money to donate or whatever, but still show up and support a politician. Because again, everyone thinks that money is what the real support is, and it's not. It's the vote. It's the vote that's the real support. and that's what you should always be going after is someone's vote, not their pocketbook. Because if you're going off your pocketbook, then you're just a step away from being on the grift. That's just the way it is. So, anyways, Alberta isn't fucked. Alberta can be a lot better. We're a very wealthy province. We don't pay more than everyone else. We pay higher per capita in taxes, not overall, because we got fewer people who make more money. We got a lot of wealthy people in this province. So it looks like we pay more per capita, but a per capita thing is not a real number. Uh, the biggest contributors are, it's like Ontario because they have the most people, right? So the biggest contributors to the nation's coffers is Ontario, and like we get money for, like, we send them money and they send us money back for stuff that we need, and then the provincial government doesn't spend the money that they've been given, and then they claim they're being broke, or they misuse it, misappropriate it, whatever, because there's no consequences. They'll just slap a notwithstanding bullshit on it or whatever and try to get away with it. There's no consequences for them breaking the rules anymore, so they're just going to keep breaking rules. Carney, wake up. So what Danielle Smith wants in the end is to turn Alberta into some sort of corporate fiefdom where we are beholden to our corporate masters and have no choice but to live here. And like, you know, but they want to do that without the other side of it. Like, okay, well, yeah, but we'll need some material good for that. If we're going to give up all our rights and kick out all the immigrants and do all this stuff and just work for our corporate masters, well, we need housing and, like, a little bit of entertainment and stuff like, and they're not doing that. They just it's so funny. These people will complain that the left wants the gray box world, but in fact it's the right, like it's these conservatives that are turning everything to this gray box by getting rid, like trying to like push out culture and color and all the, like, the richness of being a diverse society. They want to push it out rather than welcome it, and like they're the ones that want to turn it into a gray box. It's these capitalists and stuff. Why does everything, like, remember when fast food restaurants, like, you could, like, oh my god, there's a Pizza Hut just from looking at the roof, like, that's all gone because they want to make sure they can resell these places, right? So nothing looks like what it looked like before. You don't get the cool signs like the big Tim Hortons cup sign or the big chicken bucket sign or whatever anymore. You get these like fucking lame ass ones, and they, like, these corporatists and stuff who support Danielle Smith, by the way. These, like, they they vote UCP because, again, they'll keep their taxes low. So it's just like it's a nightmare here. I'm pretty angry. I'm trying not to, like, complain about it too personally, but her government have really fucked me. Like, they made an enemy in me. Like, I hate like talking to my counselor. Like, I want to try not to be disappointed by people and stuff like that. But it's but again, I don't look up to Danielle, so I guess she can't disappoint me because she's doing what I expect her to do, honestly. But she made an enemy in me. So when cannabis first legalized in Alberta, at least, there was a market cap for retailers. So no retailer could have more than a certain percentage of the market. Of like you, like, in this town, if there is 10 stores and the market cap is 30%, well, a company can only have more than like 3 stores, right? Like, and then if there's 3 companies with 9 stores, then they're like, it's done. It's tight. You won't get approved. You shouldn't get approved or anything. There's too many stores. Um, or, like, if there's no stores, you can only get one license at a time. You can't apply for multiple licenses, that kind of stuff. But they got rid of that. So that is why now in all the major centers in Alberta, at least, and every road stop along the way, there's a cannabis store everywhere. That's why no one's selling any weed because there's too many stores. Um, and that's by design. They want to make sure that they keep that it looks like sales are depressed. Like, they're still selling a lot of cannabis. Like, when you look at the overall sales, a year it's going up, but like in each retailer it's stagnant or going down. It's because they keep on building out stores, diluting, but still selling more weed, and that only helps the producers, SNDL, um, in what they're doing. So again, they can have all the stores as long as they're moving product. They don't care if some sits there. They're just still moving product, and like, it's getting purchased. Um, because it keeps, like, again, it looks like they're actually doing something when they're not. So yeah, so the UCP got rid of the market cap. Now you got a store in every corner. The store that I built up was a wonderful independent franchise. It was profitable really fast. I think I got profitable in our first year, which was quite the feat. There was a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, and a lot of good hiring and firing and all that. A lot of growth and learning. It was hard. It was hard, but we did it. We became profitable in a year, or at least broke even in the first year. So that was a feat. But then come like a little way into the second year, that's when the market cap was removed. I think that's when the UCP won their election, to be honest. Market cap removed, and then down the street is one of the first value buds, because the other one wanted to become a franchise, but they couldn't do it. They were just so bad at business that all they could do was kind of build out a few stores and then sell their assets. So yeah, they were just terrible. I called it. I'm like, you guys are gonna fail at this so hard, and they did. Like, again, selling it and coming out like and selling out your entire staff and stuff like that. That's, you didn't win a fucking thing. It's amazing, these guys. They think they came out on top, but they really didn't. They're a joke. Um, so like I told them when they were firing me, I'm like, you guys are gonna fail. Oh no, he didn't. Oh yes, he did. He looks them in the eye and tells them, "You're gonna fail." Um, I told the same boss. Oh, he couldn't be. Actually, he didn't have enough bravery to actually do it himself. He got his cronies to get rid of me. It was really funny. Um, but he came in and tried to reprimand me, and I was just like, I wasn't having it. I was like, already, like, my nephew had died. I wasn't, my tolerance for petty bullshit was at an all-time low. Sorry, all-time low. So yeah, I wasn't up for like petty bullshit from a rich kid, and that's what my boss was. He's just a petty rich kid. His brother was fine, but like, this guy was a fucking prick. He was making me be the manager when I'm not the manager. I was just a key holder with a shift differential, when there wasn't a manager in the room, and I wasn't even getting paid nearly as much. It wasn't like I was made a supervisor. So he's like, I'll send someone home. Like, who should I send home? And there's an assistant. He's like, no, you pick. I'm like, no, 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 no. I'm not your bad guy. No, uh-uh. Not this petty, but not this, like, you got to pay me to do that job. You want me to be a manager? Make me a fucking manager. Stop pretending that I'm not worth more. And he's like, oh, how dare you? I'm like, well, I don't like being used, and you're using me. And he's like, and like, I kind of lost it. I overreacted. Well, not overreacted. I have autism, and just I had a meltdown. He hit the buttons, and yeah, he came down, tried to reprimand me, and during it, I just was like, so, because he's like on his high horse, and he's using platitude after fucking platitude because he's read all these self help books, and platitude after platitude, and this and that I have to do, blah 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 blah, and like, he's putting it all on me, and he's making my responsibility and mine and this and that, and he's like basically trying to make life difficult for me. And then I just said, I started like, look, man, I'll stop you right there. I'm not gonna quit. You're gonna have to fire me, because I knew what he was doing. He's trying to like make me not want to be there anymore and quit. I'm like, you're gonna have to fire me, and I know I've not done anything wrong. I know I'd have a valid grievance with HR. I know that my wages are being suppressed and all that. So no, I'm not going to quit. You're going to have to fire me. And I love it when they give up. Oh man, do I get a dopamine hit when these little pricks give up? Because you're not giving them an inch, and they can't handle it. They can't fucking handle it. So yeah, I didn't quit. They did fire me. Well, they laid me off. Yeah. They had no reason I gave them no reason to fire me other than saying, you're gonna have to. Because because all I did was refuse to not do the job that I wasn't being paid for. That was a reasonable thing. So yeah, they laid me off at the end of it, which was, it was good for them. Good for them. Another company that I did have another job where I got a manager fired. Thank God. Thank God he's not in charge of people. I hope he's not anymore. I really do. I hope he's just like a solo salesperson, because he's fine at sales, but he's a trash manager. Um, he's dangerous. He's just a dangerous person. And not because, yeah. Anyways, he's just. I was in the passenger seat of his car once, and I was afraid for my fucking life. The guy is dangerous, and he's in charge of people who drive for a living. um. So yeah, I got him fired because he was talking, like he was defaming me to one of his buddies, and who got fired from the company as well. Um, that I cried when I was getting let go. Uh, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that at all. Nothing wrong with a cry. It was emotional. I was exhausted. I was tired. I was angry, and I was being fired for reasons that were just horrendous. Uh, they accused me of racism. Mm-hmm. This toxic manager accused me of racism. I hurt his feelings. Meanwhile, he would go around and just do the because I'm black bit all the time, and like make fun of race, and like he pretended he had this armor on, that because he was black he could say the jokes, but like as soon as you said something that made him like that point out, like he got really like, he's a bully. He was just a fucking bully. um Everyone's like has a vein of racism in them, like again, just the like it's the afraid of different thing that we got in us. We can overcome it. It's really quite easy. Just don't don't respond to that I'm afraid of different. Just don't respond to that initial feeling, and you'll be fine. But yeah, he was a bully. He, oh man, he made my life living fucking hell. um Even after I left the company, because the guy that was texting me was scary as shit. He was from Trinidad Tobago, and he was telling me, he told me that he's not allowed, he can't go back to New York because they want him for questioning in a in an unaliving. Okay, thanks for telling me that. Why intimidate the white man? Like I'm like, what the fuck? He has bullet holes apparently. Like, Jesus fucking Christ. And so this guy is now texting me like, oh, you cried, you little bitch. And I'm like, okay, you guys are done. So yeah, I got that guy fired. Yeah. Well, he got himself fired. I just reported what the fuck was happening, because there was only one person who knew this person, and it wasn't a hard like, once they told me who it was, because I deleted a bunch of numbers. I just don't keep, I just like, who is this? I don't want you anymore. And he told me who he was. Like, oh, I know exactly who told you what happened, and that is against the law. And against company policy. It's defamation, you pricks. I'm allowed to cry. You're not allowed to disparage me in public about it. You can't and then have someone bully me over it. Like, you can't. That was in private. That was confidential, what happened in that fucking room. Yeah, I cried, but that's none of your fucking business. So yeah, by all means, have a good cry, but don't let these fuckers think they can like use it against you. So yeah, no, it's time we have a good cry as a province, and then get to fucking work. um we need to get to work on this province. I'm trying here. I'm trying to get my health in order so I can be more active out and about. But it's tough. It's really tough. And yeah, like Daniel Smith is just like, it's just a liar. Like, I know there's a few videos going out. They're going through the referendum questions, and it's just like all of it's a no. It's like, no, 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 no. We don't. We need we need the federal government to keep you in check. That's what we need. We need, even whether you're right or left, it doesn't matter. You need the federal government to keep each province in check, so they're providing for the people. The same, like, you should be able to move from province to province and expect the same standard of care, the same level of house. Like, like we should be able to go be to have freedom of movement in this country. We need to be thinking about going left or right, not south. Stop going south. I know it's right there. It's really easy, but we need to start going east and west. And because I've gone east and west a lot, man, this country's awesome. It's awesome. It just is. I've been out to Thunder Bay. I've been through the prairies. I've been all over BC because that's where I'm from. I still haven't gone to Haida Gwaii. I'm really disappointed in myself not going to Haida Gwaii yet, but I will one day. And then, like, I've been through Ontario a bit. I've been to Toronto. Got married in the East Coast, so I've seen a bunch of that. Not as much as I would like because we're just too busy doing family visiting stuff in Cape Breton and Nova Scotia, which is still, oh my god, that place is amazing. But like, yeah, so this country's awesome. So start thinking east and west. Stop ignore like south of the border. Man, they got their own problems, man. Let them figure it out. We got some pretty easy fixes. We got the know-how and the ability to fix these problems. We've done it before. We can do it again. We got to stop monsters like Danielle Smith from destroying what we have. uh Personal story, I have autism. I'm trying to get some supports and stuff to deal with that. I can't hold a job. It's really difficult. It is a very difficult thing to live with. um because my ability at the work, my work ability is fantastic. My ability to do tasks and complete tasks and inventories and blah, 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 all that stuff, customer service, all that stuff is great. But I have a problem with my interpersonal stuff with management, and it's not always my fault, because I'll be checking myself, I'll be positive, and I'll be doing this, and I'll be making sure that I got the mask on that will be more accepted. Well, at the same time, you got sneaky people out there who see you have a mask on, think you're hiding something from them. They don't like you. They just immediately don't like you. And then they judge you for it. And especially if they're your boss, that can cause all kinds of problems right away. That turns into bullying almost immediately. If you, I don't like them, and you can't put your finger on an action of what they did or what they, that is a personal bias that you have that you need to check, that you need to figure out. If someone makes you uncomfortable and it's just because of a who they are, like an immutable characteristic. So my autism is an immutable characteristic. Someone's skin color is an immutable characteristic. Someone's gender can be an immutable characteristic. They will express their gender how they want to, right? So it can be immutable, right? You don't want them to be muting who they are, right? So you, gender should also be immutable and be whatever you are. That means you can't be anti-trans. Sorry, just it doesn't work. And there's really, it's not a topic I'm going to probably get into a lot. Just because, leave them the fuck alone. Like, um, if you've gone through gender reaffirming surgeries, that's now you have an immutable characteristic. Period. That's an immutable characteristic that you now have on yourself because you went through gender affirming surgeries. So again, that's about all I'm going to say on the trans stuff. It's a topic we really need to, like, I wish we could ditch it, and just have healthcare and just focus on providing good healthcare, good mental health care, making sure there is therapists available for people, making sure that people can reach out when they are going through their changes, through their issues, if they don't feel like they're in the right body. I never had, like, my issues were always like, it was communication with people because it felt like a different language, like, so I didn't feel like myself. I haven't felt like myself in a very long time, which, so that, but it's not the same thing, right? I'm not transgender. I just don't feel like myself. I'm trying to get back, like, and I have before in the past. I have felt like myself in the past. I'm trying to get that back. Um, so yeah, like, it's just trying to get back, trying to recognize my immutable characteristics, because I've tried to mute them for so long that that's caused a lot of damage, right? So we want to make sure that people have the space and the love and the support that they need. And this government, this provincial government's not doing it, not at all. If honestly, and I know this for damn near a fact, if I lived in BC, I would have already been on the road to recovery. Absolutely, absolutely. You can check me on that. I live in Alberta. This is where I live, and people go back to BC. I'm like, I don't want to go back to BC. This is where I live. This is where My wife and I have built a home. We love living in the city. We love being close to the mountains. It's only like a 4 hour drive to Jasper. It's a really close drive to Banff. We love those places. We've gone camping and not camping. We stayed in like little cabins, those little cabin chalet places that you can go camp through in the mountains. Fantastic. Like you make your own meals and stuff like that. So you save a bit of cash that way. Um, but yeah, no, it's we love vacationing out to the mountains. We've gone out to Radium Hot Springs. We've yeah, oh man, this area is fantastic. So and again, like all that area, that Banff and Jasper, federal, federal provincial park, federal provincial park, not provincial. Uh, the province helps manage some stuff and offer some resources when they're needed. They can this the Jasper National Park and Banff National Park, that does not belong to Alberta. It's part of Alberta, but it does not belong to Alberta. It belongs to Canada. That is all. That is those are national provincial parks that belong to all of us. So I don't know this. It seems like that part's been missing from the conversation a little bit. Like, what about the national parks? So, like, yeah, they don't get those. If this all works, if you get your separation, you don't get the national parks. Those will go to BC, as they always should have. That's one of my bias. Like, I think BC should have all the mountains. You know what I mean? I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Maybe that's just my conditioning growing up is that, well, we should have all the mountains. BC has most of them. Why don't we just have all of them? But it's okay. We'll share still. I love Alberta. We should still share the mountains. But like, what are you gonna do with the national parks? Like, what are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about that? They have no answers. There's no answers for any of it. Like, I've seen all those comments like, like, what do you know about blah? You don't live in this province, and they list a bunch of things. They're like, well, what about this? What about this? What about this? What about? And there's never any answer. So it's just like a useless exercise to ask these separatists, like, well, what do you think about this? Well, what about this issue? They're not thinking about the issues. They're thinking with their heart, with their gut, like, or whatever. Not their brain, not thinking with their brain. It's just reaction. They're just told to react, and they react. They got their rebel media telling them how much they're being screwed by Ottawa all the time. They got all these like these insightful people saying how much that the federal government's screwing them over. Meanwhile, they're actively trying to take over in the federal governments to screw you over. like like that's what they're actually like. They're salty because they're not in charge and can't, like, at least Carney is like has put a little bit of like stop the bleeding a little bit. Slowed, like, it's inflation's still out of control, but like it seems like we might be getting under control here, but especially with some of the plans about exporting not to the US but to other countries and having better trading partners. The China deal is fantastic. I don't care what you say. It's a fantastic deal. I'm glad we did it. It's the right step. It's been what we needed to do for a long time. I've always believed we need to divorce from the US. They're a mess. They've always been a mess, and they're bullies and they're takers, and we don't need them. We do not need them, and they need to learn that. They need to learn the world does not need them. And might get messy, but the world needs to learn that. So, like, this demonstration today is all about being a country, being a sovereign nation. That means support from other provinces. That means trying to get off the couch and going down there. Sorry, guys. I wish I could have made it, but just the health issues. I was up really late last night. And it was not a good night. But I really, yeah, and the weather is just not cooperating with my body. If we have another demonstration in the spring, I'm so there. I'm so there. But it is a weird time to be alive. I have studied history. We are living in history. We are literally. This is something that um, isn't a hard. It shouldn't be a hard concept to grasp, but it is for some people because it just seems so unreal. But we are living in history right now. Things that are happening now will forever change the world. We have already experienced this a bunch of times, and we're having a hard time adjusting. We're having a really hard time adjusting. I think Mark Carney is almost the right leader to help with that adjustment. We need someone a bit more, that does the UBI, that does more progressive policy to make sure that people can make ends meet right now while things do get messy and there's a change. Like, maybe the UBI only lasts 5 years while we adjust trading partners and stuff like that. Stuff like that would be a big help to a lot of people. Municipalities can do it. Calgary can do it. Farkas, come on. Do a UBI for Calgary. You guys have the money. I know you do. You complain about being broke. I know you have the money, and I know there's money there that can be used for that. And it would benefit local business. 100%. It would benefit local business so much if there was a like a UBI. So yeah, like if you don't know what a UBI is, sorry, it's a universal basic income. Basically, everybody gets it. Hey, except for people like at a certain, like I would guess up to 1 million or something like that. I don't know, or like 500,000 or something. There'd be a cap on it, and there'd be an increase in tax on people over the cap. Yeah, I know. Oh, it sounds so greedy and terrible. Like, no, man. Like, we're getting screwed. I try to build a business. I try to go to work. I went. I did it. I did the things, and I got screwed for it because the system is set up that way. That's just the way of the world. Well, this has been going on for 40 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up. I love you guys. I hope you keep it dope. I hope you're out there supporting Canada. I hope you support Canada tomorrow morning. I will be getting up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday. On a Sunday, the horror. At least it's not as bad as what was it? So no, oh, the one that was like at 3 a.m. That one sucked. That was a hard game. I was you almost had to like start drinking at like 11 p.m. and then maintain your buzz until 3 a.m. and then you can make it through the game. That was just how I did it. But don't do that with the 5 a.m. start. You can get up early. You can do it. Or 6 a.m. I think it's 6 a.m. tomorrow morning, Alberta time, Mountain time. But yeah, so 41 minutes. What a good day. I love you guys. Keep it dope. And yeah, peace.